Hello students, welcome to Rayat Shikshan Sanstha's online learning program. Today I will do the last leaf part 2 from unit 3.3. So here just like my last video I have given about the author O. Henry. Once you read you will get to know about him, and I have also given his famous works. Then here I have given you the summary of the story and also the central idea. Central idea means what message the writer wants to give us through this story or lesson. So last time we had reached the point where Sue was telling Mr. Berman about Johnsy's sickness. So let us continue from here. So Sue told Berman about Johnsy's fancy. Fancy means her wild imagination, that she was thinking when the last ivy leaf falls down, she would also be dying. So when Berman heard this, he said he was very surprised, and he said that how can one have such idiotic imaginings, foolish thoughts. He's telling, are people in the world so foolish to die because of leaves dropping off from a vine? So he said, how can a person die because of the leaves falling off from a vine? He's telling that I have not heard of such a thing, and why did you allow such a thing to enter into Johnsy's brain? So he was telling Sue, how could you allow such a thought to come into Johnsy's brain? So Sue said that Johnsy is very ill and weak, and she said that because of the fever, because of the high fever, she is thinking all weird things, strange things. And she's telling that this place is not good for Miss Johnsy. Someday I'll paint a masterpiece and we shall all go away. So he's telling, Mr. Berman is telling that this place is not good for Johnsy, and one day I will paint a masterpiece and then we will all go away. Yes, said Berman. So Johnsy, she was sleeping down when those two people, when Berman and Sue, they went upstairs. Sue showed Berman the ivy vine that Johnsy saw through the window. So Sue showed Berman that ivy vine which Johnsy was seeing through the window. And then they looked at each other with surprise, and then they started their work. And outside it was very cold, it was raining, and the rain was mingling means it was getting mixed with the snow. And so this Sue, she closed the window. Now here you can see the picture of Sue and Mr. Berman. They are seeing that ivy vine there and discussing, talking about Johnsy. So in the next morning when Sue, she woke up, she found that again Johnsy was staring at the closed window. Okay, and then she told Sue to open the window. I want to see. She's telling, please open the window, I want to see outside. So Sue, she obeyed and she opened the window. And what did she see there? That even though it was very windy and raining, that one leaf was there on the ivy vine, and this was the last leaf which was there on the vine. And it hung from branch some 20 feet above the ground. So it was hanging uh, to a wall. Okay. It is the last one, said Johnsy. So then Johnsy, when she saw this, she said, this is the last leaf. And she said that I thought it would surely fall during the night. So she's wishing, she's hoping that the leaf falls, because she had heard the wind. It will fall today and I shall die at the same time. So as I had told you, she thought that when the last leaf falls, she will also die. Now see, you can see this picture of the ivy vine and that last leaf hanging there. Now this Johnsy, she was preparing herself for the last journey that one makes alone. So she's preparing for her death. She was feeling very strong within her. She was feeling very strongly that she would die. So she did not even care about Sue's friendship. She was not bothered because she knew she would die. So what happened? It was from daytime, it had already become twilight. Twilight means just after sunset, but not, and the time between darkness. That is called twilight. Then also they could see that one leaf, it was clinging to its stem against the wall. So they could still see this leaf. It was clinging, sticking to the stem against the wall. And then at night again it was raining. And next day when the light had come up, Johnsy again asked Sue to open the window. And then when Sue opened the window, she saw that the ivy leaf was still there. The last leaf was still there. Then Johnsy, she was lying there for a long time and she was looking at that leaf. Then she called Sue. Then after looking at the leaf for a long time, she called Sue. Sue dear, she said, I've been a bad girl. Something has made a last leaf stay there to show me how wicked I was. It is a sin to want to die. So here now you can see the change in Johnsy. She called Sue and she told her that I have been very bad. I have been very bad, and I thought I would die when the last leaf falls. But my thinking was very wrong, and some power has made that last leaf to stay there, so that it helps me realize that how wicked I am. And she was telling, I shouldn't have thought that I would die when the last leaf would fall. So now Johnsy is a very changed person. She wants to live now. She realizes that her thought was very wrong. So here you can see the picture of Johnsy in bed and the last leaf on that ivy vine. Okay, these pictures will help you imagine the story in your mind. So now when Johnsy was a changed person, now she got up and she took the soup and milk that Sue had brought for her. But remember that other day she did not take the broth. She did not want to take the soup because she was always thinking that she would die when the last leaf would fall. Now she wanted to sit up in the bed. She did not want to lie down and just look outside. And now she was hopeful of painting the Bay of Naples. She said that one day I will paint the Bay of Naples. Now just look after this what happens. Now after this change in Johnsy, Mr. Berman was now ill with pneumonia. Now Mr. Berman, he was suffering from pneumonia. And what happened? The sweeper had found him lying helpless in his room in very wet clothes and shoes. So he saw that the sweeper saw that he was in his room. He was wearing, his clothes were wet, his shoes were wet, and he was lying helplessly. And then he also saw some brushes and a palette with green and yellow colors mixed on it, which means that he had done some painting. And what happened? 2 days later, Mr. Berman died in a hospital. And after this incident, after the sweeper had found him lying helplessly in his room, then he died after 2 days in the hospital. So what did Berman do? He had painted the ivy leaf on the vine in the wall. So the last ivy leaf was still there on the wall, so that he could, that leaf was seen, it was still there on the leaf. It did not move, okay, and even when the wind was there, that is because it was a painting. He, Mr. Berman, he had painted the last leaf on the wall, so that he could give the hope to Johnsy to live, so that when she sees the leaf there, she thinks that she is not going to die. He wanted to give her hope that she is going to live. So that paint was Berman's masterpiece. Remember, he had told that I will paint a masterpiece. He had painted it there that night when the last leaf had fallen. So when did he do this painting? He painted this leaf on the wall that night when the last leaf from the ivy vine had fallen. So this is a story adapted, taken from The Last Leaf by O. Henry. See here, you can see the picture of Mr. Berman. He's painting there he's painting the wall, and you can see his palette there. That is a palette where these painters, artists, they mix colors and use it for their painting. And here he is seen lying down helplessly with his brush paint spread. Okay. So students, this is the story. I hope you like the story. Thank you for watching.